wait. Oh, no.
King of Chaos, Logan Black here, and you're watching another episode of Pro Wrestling Explained to my wife. Hi, wife.
Hi, husband.
So this week, we are going to take two veterans of the show, two people who have made appearances prior to this episode, and we're going to see them in a match against each other. It would make no sense for me to lay that out for you, but the viewer is going to be able to see it because right in the bottom here, where I put all of the facts, they're going to see those facts, and they're going to know what the match is before you do. How does this mystery match feel in your head? What do you think it's going to be? If you had to pick anything, what do you think this mystery match is going to be?
I mean, it's gotta be the ding-dongs, right? Like, that's just classic material.
I know that's...
Everyone wants the ding-dongs
It's
back.
your favorite. Listen, maybe you want the ding-dongs. I am perfectly fine.
I don't want...
Let's go ahead and check this out. Let's see if the lady gets the ding-dongs she is so hoping for. So you remember this fella. He's looking a whole lot less hairy and a lot less abominable snowman-like.
This is true. Though more mullety.
Very much, there's a whole lot more mullety going on.
Yeah.
But this was the point in history where the mullet was perfectly acceptable. I can't speak for it. I'm just saying that he was a cool dude at that point with that haircut.
Gotcha.
This is obviously in Japan. And our buddy El Gigante, a.k.a. Giant Gonzalez, is taking on another veteran of the show.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I mean, just see how massive this dude is, where, like, his ass is at the top rope. Yeah, that's just a step for him. Like, He's not bending anything. Doing an excellent job of getting the crowd ready. I'm glad the camera has not panned to his opponent. Because when you see it, it's either going to be excitement or you're going to shake your head. You can kind of see from here.
All I see is red. The resolution's not good enough. Oh, wait. Oh, no.
Yup. So we're going to have the guy whose only wrestling moves are chokes versus a guy who does not know any wrestling moves. Actually, it again, because we watched Giant Gonzalez in that squash match, and it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but he was working an actual worker.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, Kevin Kelly, who played Nailz, was, from what I understand, like a half-decent worker. But, like, what's a prisoner supposed to do but choke somebody? Here, is this going to be... I mean, people talk about Clash of Styles. I don't know if you'd call that this. They're taking a lot of time here to kind of, feel things out. He's checking non-existent wrist tape. Like, if I'm not mistaken, that's Tiger Hattori. And Tiger Hattori is possibly one of the best referees of all time. He's checking non-existent wrist tape. Because I'm pretty sure they all knew within this company, it's like, I mean, this is going to suck, but it's a freak show fight, and our crowd likes that.
Yeah. Was it just take as much time up as possible to run down the clock?
Yeah, of what's going on here. Just all the anticipation. Well, now El Gigante, I was sitting there talking about how Nailz chokes people, and now El Gigante is the choker. Nailz being the chokee.
Reach his neck. He's too tall.
I don't know. Maybe
oh, wait, I lied.
He's whispering sweet nothings into his ear.
Now,
and the guy's still selling his eyes. Oh, man.
Peekaboo.
When people talk about, like when you see on, like, the sitcoms of, like, the 90s, or even, today they don't even bother with wrestling. But when people used to make fun of wrestling, this is the closest thing that they could they would do to it. Two men, really hokey, just, like, grabbing at each other's faces. Like, this is just,
It's bad.
And it's Japan, too. Like, I'm sure... I gotta look up the other matches on this specific card. But I'm sure that, like, everybody there was having really, like, strong matches. And then, boom, these two come out and absolutely stink the joint up. Oh, man.
Well, no accounting for taste, I suppose.
Oh, my God. It's just... It has been nothing but eye rakes and chokes I will not claim to be a good wrestler by any means, but I'm certainly enough of a wrestling fan to be able to say that this is particularly terrible.
Yeah, nobody's carrying this match. It's just everybody is just getting dragged along the floor.
I mentioned the Giant Gonzalez video that Undertaker still holds like people within the company responsible for that match and jokes to them about how he'll never forgive it. Flair was another guy who had to go up against Giant Gonzalez in WCW and had to attempt to drag a watchable match out of him. And if Ric Flair can't give you a good match, you're doomed.
Well, there's a clothesline just to,
To vary it up.
shake things up.
You've got chokes, you've got eye rakes, and one clothesline. Oh, he's going to send him off again. What are we doing here? Oh, we got the dreaded claw. Now, let's talk while this is going on. As somebody who did not watch wrestling growing up, you see this. What do you think? And the match is over. What do you think of the giant claw?
I don't really think much of it. I don't have major thoughts. Just that, I don't know, it's kind of like Harlem Globetrotters just going like...
Palming a basketball to the basketball is a balding blonde head.
Yep.
I feel like we've watched some good matches, we've watched some not so good matches, but this is arguably a terrible wrestling match.
I mean, there wasn't really any wrestling in it.
But, like, so, again, I could understand from the perspective of, there was no wrestling, obviously, but, like, did Hulk Hogan actually wrestle? It was a big boot, a leg drop, and some punches. Those aren't wrestling moves either. But it's Hogan. These guys did not seem to have any charisma after that bell rang. Possibly before it rang. But I want to give Giant Gonzalez some credit because he surprised me last time. What are your thoughts on this interesting Japanese match between two Gaijin?
It was real bad.
Simple.
Well, I got.
We're making it as simple as humanly possible on this show. Arguably a very, very bad match. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of Pro Wrestling Explained. To my wife, you can catch me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at King of Chaos NYC. And you're checking this out on the YouTube account for the Year One Wrestling Podcast. The podcast is up there. It's pretty much everywhere else that you can find a podcast. You should subscribe to that. Hit the subscribe button. And then subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Year One Pod on all social media. And for you, dear?
You can find me on Instagram at Banana Lunch or Twitter at BenchBro Esquire. And mostly me just talking about everything is terrible. Almost as bad as that match we just watched.
Almost as bad.
Almost.
For the missus and I, love each other, love yourselves, love pro wrestling.